So I'm pretty sure you can read that. I normally stop a little bit over. I'll maybe bump it back a little bit more, but this brass is obviously a little bit thicker. I think the brass itself and the Lake City I converted. So this one came out at 1.5440, which will still most likely chamber. I'll check. I can check it tomorrow. I don't feel like going upstairs and getting in my safe to let you know, but that's how I do it with that bump gauge. So now that shoulder has been fully formed. The neck's really long, so the next thing is the trim the neck down to spec. I'm sure you know how to do that, but that'd kind of be the next step. Well, shouldn't even say that. So the next step is actually to put in the collet die. So I'm not sure if you know what the collet dies are. They have like a mandrel that just squeezes the outside of the neck on an inside piece. They're really slick. I normally, when I buy dies, I buy the 4-die set. It seems like it's always just nice to have. But I'm gonna take it apart so you can see. With that collet, what happens is this collet moves up and down, and then it'll squeeze the case neck on the inside on that mandrel. That's the perfect inside diameter. So any of the run out gets transferred to the outside of the case, and the inside is perfectly symmetrical. Whereas with like a bushing die, the opposite happens. So it squeezes the outside is more uniform than the inside, so you don't get as much. You get a lot more run out. So I'll run it through this sizer next, and size the neck, and then I'll trim it, and then after it's been sized and trimmed, it'll be ready to fire form. And then once I fire form them, I'll run them through this collet die to reset the necks, and then I'll measure, like, I don't know, the first 10, and I'll get an idea of kind of how big the chamber is on my gun. This will be the first time I'm doing this, I should say. Then I'll set my bump die up. I'll measure to that datum line again, and I'll adjust the die till I bump it back 300 thousandths, 200 thousandths, typically for a bolt gun, 1 or 200 thousandths, just so it chambers a little easier. And then I'll lock that die in, and then it'll kind of forever be set for that particular brand brass. So if I'm shooting, like, I normally shoot Norma because I got a good deal on it, but I have some Lake City I converted, and what I'll do is whatever my premium brass is, that's where I'll use for the setup on my datum line, and then I'll just push everything else back. So they're all, I don't want to say the same, but they're not. So